welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this is A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. In my today's video, we are going to play around. And this play around we are going to do is to talking about differentiation. And this differentiation has a diverse way which you can approach it. We're going to look at how to solve differentiation or derivative when it is in a root word function. Can we observe this question? But before then, please, I'll beg of you to subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment. Well, let's start. Now look at this wonderful question. Now this is A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. Now the question says differentiation of a root function, and this function has to do with power of x is less than the root. How do we differentiate it? I want to use what we call normal method. Then after normal method, I will use shortcut what method. Now let's observe this question. 1, 2, go. Now listen. The question says, let f be a function such that x map, this thing is called map. It's called what? Map. Such that x map fifth root of what? X raised to the power of what? 3. Now the question says, find f prime of what? X. Now anytime you hear the word prime means differentiation. Means what? Differentiation. So you can call it differentiation. That is another name for prime. You can call it derivative. So which means it can appear in so many ways. Or rather also we can call it dy all over what? Dx. Are we together? Now let's go. Now the question now we're going to bring forward now is this. I want you to watch. The question says x map what? Fifth root of x all raised to the power of what? 3. Now this particular x you are seeing here can be written as what? Y. And it's the same thing as saying equal to. Then fifth root of what? X raised to the power of what? 3. Now what do we do now? We cannot differentiate this directly using the general formula for differentiation. How? Can we approach this like this? Now I want you to watch. Another way of writing fifth root is always power 1 over 5. Power what? 1 over 5. The first thing we are going to do is to write x raised to the power of 3. Then you multiply it by 1 over 5. So simply it will now give us x. I will now say 3 times 1 will give me 3. Then all over what? 5. Then I want to differentiate now. What am I differentiating? I'm differentiating y against what? X. It will give me dy all over what? Dx. Now this is now equal to. Now how do we differentiate this particular problem? Now listen, it is very simple. The first thing you are going to do is to write down the power. Write down the word power. Here the power is what? 3 over what? 5. I will now put it down. Then I will multiply it. Now the next thing we are going to do is to write down exactly the question the way it is here now. So it becomes what? X raised to the power of the same 3 over 5. Then lastly, introduce minus 1 to the power. The essence of introducing minus 1 to the power is because differentiation is what? Reduction. So if I continue now, this is how to differentiate. What am I going to say now? This is now equal to, now 3 over 5 times x will give us 3 over 5 what? X. Now followed by this, what do we do? Very simple. Now what you should do, instead of taking the LCM, just connect this 5 with this 1. So it becomes 5 times 1, which will give us what? 5. So the power becomes 3 minus 5 divided by the denominator, which is what? 5. Now what do we do? I will now say this dy dx is something as saying f prime of what? X is the same thing. Then equal to, then I want you to watch. What remains here now is 3 all over what? 5 followed by what? X. Then looking at the power, here is 3. 3 minus 5 will give us minus 2. Then all over what? 5. Now I would have stopped here as the final answer. But there is a law in indices. Whenever you see a negative power, what happens? That value will go down. Are you with me? So that it will now remain 3 all over what? 5 times. I have seen a negative power here. I will now consider it as 1 over the number. What is the number? X raised to the power of 2 all over what? 5. Now the next thing we are going to do, this is now equal to 3 times 1 will give us 3. Then all over. Now 5 times x will give us 5. Are you there? This is 5 now. How do we describe this? We call it fifth root of what? X. This is how we write it. Fifth root of what? X. Are you with me? Raised to the power of what? 2. Now this is the final answer using the general word formula. The answer is 3 all over 5. Then fifth root of what? X raised to the power of 2. Can we observe the options? Option A says 3 over fifth root of x to the power 2. No. Option B says 3 all over 5. Are you with me now? Then here is fifth root of x raised to the power of what? 2. So which means the correct answer in the option is option what? B. Now since it is option B, now my target now is how are we going to solve this particular problem using what we call shortcuts? Using what we call what? Shortcuts. Now watch everyone. So we want to solve it and know whether we are going to get the same thing using shortcut what method. Since it is objective what question. Now watch. If it is theory, that's exactly how you will solve it. But this one is objective. So I will now say using what we call shortcut method. Shortcut what? Method to solve this problem. Using what we call shortcut what? Method to solve this very particular problem. Now watch. What is the nature of the question? The question is that x map fifth root of x raised to the power of what? 3. I already told you that another name for writing x map means y then equal to. Then which implies what? Fifth root of what? X all raised to the power of what? 3. Now I want to differentiate. Look up. Now if I differentiate y, it will give me dy over what? Dx. And it is the same thing as saying f prime of what? X, which is now equal to. How do we do it? Now listen, very simple. Now this power now is less than the root. Are you with me now? The law is that you must always consider the powers of x first. What's the powers of x? It is 3. Then over. Why the root will appear at the denominator like this. So it becomes 3 all over what? 5. Are you with me now? Now the next thing we are going to do is to write the root, which is fifth what? Roots at the denominator of what? X. Of what? X. Followed by the roots. Because the root is greater than the what? Power. And what is the value of the root? It is what? 5. I will now introduce minus what? 3. This is the minus 3 I'm talking about. Finally, the answer now becomes 3 all over what? This is 5, right? And I have with me again fifth root of what? X. Are you with me? I will now say 5 minus what? 3, which will give me what? 2. Can you see that this very particular answer has corresponded with the one that we solved, which is the correct answer, which is option what? B. This is exactly how to solve it using shortcut. Using what? Shortcut. Now, see you in my next video. Thank you.